Hey guys, what's going on? Thanks so much for watching today and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. My name is Savannah. If you're new to the channel, thanks so much for stopping by. We are building an eco-friendly plant lover's house, basically, but a little bit more in-depth than that. I have come up with a bit of a backstory for this sim, but as you can probably see from the thumbnail, I have gone back to what I feel is like an oldie but a goodie style now. Eco lifestyle came out, a while ago, but it's just a style that I am so comfortable building in. It's so easy to build in because I just feel like all of the objects, all of the swatches that came with the Eco Lifestyle pack are just so aesthetically pleasing, and there's something about the style that just speaks to me. So I had a lot of fun doing this build. It overall took me only a couple of hours or so. It was a pretty quick build. We are in the Eco Lifestyle world, and now that I go to tell you what it's called, I completely forget, but we are in kind of the neutral section of that world. You can see the name of the lot in the upper left hand corner. We have built on this lot before. There's another eco build on the channel already, but it's a wonderful lot and it has good lighting. So what more could you ask for from a Sims 4 build lot? But we're starting off with the exterior, and I will tell you, do not get too attached to this exterior because the reference picture that I was working off of that I found on Pinterest was beautiful and I loved it, but it was very dark and it was lots of dark tones, black with like warm color woods. And originally I wanted to kind of replicate that, which is why you see like the black tiles on the roof. The wood siding is in a dark like wood color. And then I used the Eco Lifestyle flooring for the kind of covered porch area. But as I added more and more, and I started to do the interior with lots of like light woods and light colors and wanted to keep everything nice and bright and light and open, the inside just didn't end up matching the outside so much. So I do go back and change the exterior, not really the layout or anything like that, but the colors and stuff I do change pretty drastically. However, in pro YouTuber fashion, I completely forgot to hit the record button for the last like 30 minutes of this build, because that's when I kind of came back to it and was going to readjust the outside and how it looked. And I thought I was recording, but I was not. Classic, like I said. Definitely makes me feel like a pro, but I did not record that. So I'm so sorry. You can see obviously the finished product in the end screenshots as well as in the thumbnail. But here is the process, just in case it possibly sparks some inspiration for you, because I know sometimes I'm watching creators build and their final product is very inspiring, of course, but sometimes something that they try before they get to the final product kind of sparks something in my mind where I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to try that, or what if I kind of do that but in a different way. So I wanted to definitely leave it in here. That way, of course, I had enough footage for a video, because if I cut this whole first part out, that would be pretty much half of the video gone right there. But anyway, I digress. I'll stop talking about my recording mistake and get back to the build. Before we talk about what I'm doing though, if you've made it this far into the video, if you've landed on my video just to start with, leave a like down below and consider hitting that subscribe button. This is my second YouTube channel, my first channel being Simply Savannah, where we play other creative simulation games, primarily things like Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and Prehistoric Kingdom. But again, this is my second channel where obviously we cover The Sims 4. So if you've found this channel, it is something that I just started recently and I'm trying to kind of get the ball rolling with, getting more regular uploads and things. A like, a comment, and a subscribe go a long way, and I really appreciate you. So thank you so much. Back onto the build, we are doing just a bit of exterior landscaping here. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the sim that I think that works here. Works here? Lives here. Lives here. I think that she is a working professional single sim, and she is going back to school to get her master's or some further education. I envision that she has already completed her undergrad, but she's going back to university to try to get either an additional degree or a further, more specialized degree. And I mentioned in the beginning that I think that she is a plant-loving sim, but I think professionally she is a horticulturist, what she does for a living, and obviously plants are a huge passion of hers. So whether she's getting her master's in horticulture, is that what you would call it? Botany? Getting her degree in some sort of plant science, maybe ecology or something, environmental sciences or something like that. But she obviously has a lot of plants around the house and enjoys gardening in her free time as kind of a fun way to enjoy her profession, but making it more of a hobby. So I, of course, wanted to add lots and lots of plants to this build, as kind of fits with eco lifestyle, right? That's kind of the whole point. I do think that she's a very eco-friendly sim, so we do end up putting some solar panels on the roof. We obviously have those little gardening objects that are on the wall on the outside, so maybe she grows some of her own food and stuff like that. So that's kind of my idea for this sim. I envision that she is not really into dating right now. She's very focused on her schooling, very dedicated. So we're starting to work on her home office here in just a minute, but I originally wanted to do a 2-bedroom house, but where you saw me place that archway, I end up placing her office in that instead, because I decided that instead of having a 2-bedroom, I was going to make it a little bit bigger and possibly have, you know, a parents and a child, some parents and a child, and kind of go that route. But then I decided I really haven't decorated many offices, and I kind of wanted to follow that storyline of a really hardworking professional single sim. Now, of course, this could be either male or female. I did design the apartment or the house more feminine looking, but you can play with it however you'd like with whatever sim you want to put in here. That being said, it is up on the gallery, so if you'd like to download it, my gallery ID is YTSimplySimming. It's down in the description box below if you need to reference it, but I do upload pretty much everything I build up onto the gallery so you can use it yourself. Talking about the kitchen here, we are doing a very bright and light kitchen using lots of light wood tones. This is a combination of Eco Lifestyle and Dream Home Decorator. Honestly, I used a lot of Dream Home Decorator in this build, primarily for all the cabinets that you see, some of this wall pattern that I end up using, not in the kitchen specifically, but I do keep those triangular wallpaper patterns in the living room as kind of like an accent wall. And then the, what are those called? Appliances are actually from Cool Kitchen stuff. Whatever symbol is the ice cream. I think that one's the Cool Kitchen stuff, but I could be wrong. Anyway, those are the kind of the primary packs that I used for this build, and I really wanted to keep this more minimal rather than overly cluttered or just cluttered in general. So I'm really only adding a few key things here. That bread box, I feel like I have to add in every single build because it's just the cutest object ever. And then of course I'm utilizing some of the plants from the Blooming Rooms kit because it's my favorite kit that's ever come out. Some paper towels, things like that, just to kind of simulate a little bit of lived in look, but again, not over cluttered, really being kind of minimal with what I'm placing in this. Those Moschino windows, I think, look phenomenal as well. They're some of my favorite windows to use, and the fact that they have that swatch that's, or the object that's kind of open, where both of these windows are slightly cracked, I felt like that fit the kind of the feel of this vibe really, really well because it just lets in some airflow, lots of natural light, so I thought they fit perfectly. I'm really happy with the layout of this kitchen, to be honest. I really wanted to do kind of a bar area that stuck out because although she is a hardworking professional, I do envision that she's got a group of close-knit friends, maybe 2 or 3, that maybe get together once or twice a week for drinks, hanging out, a movie. Like, they're not really into partying, going out. They're very much a group of homebody friends. And so I envision that the sim that lives here is kind of the nucleus of that friend group, and she kind of has all of her friends over to her house more often than she kind of visits her other friends' houses, because maybe she's the most kind of homebody of all of her friends. So her space is very much set up for just very casual entertainment, right? So when her friends come over, the living room and the kitchen are very open with one another, and so you can either be hanging out in both spaces and still kind of see each other, talk to each other, and not have the conversation or the kind of flow of the night cut off by being in two separate rooms or something like that. I really, really like that couch that's from Eco Lifestyle. That couch actually kind of inspired lots of the kind of teal colors that I was going for throughout this entire build. You'll see that like light wood tones, teal, and yellow specifically are kind of the three main groups of colors, three main colors that I use in this build, and that's kind of the running theme throughout the entire house. And I love it. It's, again, not colors that I normally would have in my house. I am a very neutral, earthy tone person, but I liked using the teal and the yellow because they are colorful, they're fun, and they're bright without being like too bright, too in your face. Moving on to the office, like I mentioned earlier, I really like this space. It seems very cozy to me. Again, I was originally going to add kind of like a seating area over here with maybe a little table next to it, envisioning that she could, you know, sit down with a book or something, but I felt like it made the room too cluttered. It was too close to the desk area. So I end up just, what do I even put over there? I think just a plant or something. And then I do end up putting a little bed in the office a little bit later, because I decided that although obviously she's a working professional, she's going to be home all the time and really focused on her schooling and hanging out with her friends every once in a while, I wanted her to have a little pet, so she gets a cat. So I do place a little bed, a litter box, and some food bowls so that that this house could have a cat as well, because I feel like everybody needs a little companion. I don't know how my house would feel. Of course, I have way more than just one cat. I have a lot of pets, but my house would seem so quiet and so empty without a pet. So it's really easy for me to envision basically every sim I build for having a cat or a dog or some form of pet. You can see maybe in the bottom left-hand corner there, you might be able to glimpse it. I've placed the fish tank from Snowy Escape on the floor because I do want to use it. I just didn't know where I was going to put it yet, so it's kind of just hanging out in the middle of the living room floor as of right now. But I do place that, so envisioning that she does have some fish as well, or maybe one of those little African swimming frogs. That would be kind of cool. I've had those before, and they're a lot of fun to take care of, and they're really fun to watch like swim around and things, and pretty low maintenance as well. Okay, there you go. She has a little African swimming frog as well. Moving on to the bathroom, the layout wasn't too bad for this one. Originally, I did really want to add a tub shower combination, but in the end, it just wasn't going to work with the layout and what I wanted to fit in here. So I do end up using that walk-in shower from Seasons, I think it is. And then just doing very simple sink, toilet. We throw the litter box in there at the very end, making sure that there's some window so that some natural light can come into this room. Don't pay attention to the windows from the outside of the house. I always end up hating how the windows and the layout looks from the outside, like the back and the sides of the house, which I guess is pretty true to reality, because a lot of houses I feel like I drive by have wonderful curb appeal, and the ones that I really like are beautiful when you view them from the front. But if you ever like go in the backyard and turn around and look at them, or go on the side and look at them from a side profile, the windows and things and the walls, it just look very plain, very boring, and kind of ugly, to be honest. So anyway, just ignore what it looks like from the outside. From the inside, the window placement I think is perfect. You can crack it open and get some air, as well as let some light in. It obviously doesn't back up to anybody else's house, so a little bit of privacy there. But yeah, after this, the only other thing we have to do is the bedroom, and then of course it does get cut off before I go back outside and do the kind of revamp of the curb appeal and the porch and all the colors and stuff like that. So I do apologize again for that getting cut off. Oh yes, this is where I end up putting the little fish tank. I decided I wanted to use that. It's from the Paranormal Stuff pack, I think, is kind of like that cabinet, chest of drawers, whatever you would call it. It's a really cool, like, fun piece that has a pattern on it, so I wanted to kind of throw that in there, and the teals and the kind of yellow that's on it really kind of tied in with the rest of the build, so I really liked that. But we end up throwing the fish tank on there, and then I go back, which is I think part of the footage that I lost, and add like a little bowl on there for her keys and stuff like that. This bed is from Eco Lifestyle, of course, utilizing just a lot of Eco Lifestyle objects. That rug is from Snowy Escape. It's one of my favorite rugs. You can see that I've used it in the bedroom as well as in the living room. I just love kind of the organic shape of it and the fuzziness. It seems so cozy, like a pain to clean, but it seems really cozy. We are coming up on the very end of the recording that I have. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope that you enjoy the end pictures. We'll jump into them in just a second. Again, if you've made it this far, leaving a like, a comment down below, and even hitting that subscribe button do wonders for the channel, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Of course, as always, in those comments below, let me know what kind of builds you want to see next. The round wall update, I believe, has just hit. I need to update my game and jump in and check it out. So I'm going to be doing some builds with those, as well as high school years when it does come out at the end of the month, actually in just like 2 or 3 days. So I'm super excited for that. But yeah, you guys, I will jump off. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye!